So I think all of us are still kind of coping and recovering from what we saw in the first episode of Daredevil Born Again, but I think the rug is going to be pulled out completely from underneath us. This is going to be a crazy, wild theory that I'm going to suggest with you guys, and I'm not the only one thinking about it. I've seen several people talk about it in the last 12 hours on social media, and this is going to be surrounding, spoiler alert, the death of Foggy Nelson. Before we get into this crazy theory that might actually end up being true, guys, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road to 3,000 subs. I cannot believe we're getting this close. Also, if you're new to this channel, I would love to have you here. If you leave comments, I read every single one, and I most likely will respond. We're also going live later today to discuss the spoilers for Daredevil episode 1 and 2, and I'd love to see you guys there. Let's chat about it. Let's give more theories. Now, let's get into this video.
I'm Spider-Man.
Okay, so some keen-eyed Marvel fans have pointed out that the law firm for Nelson, Murdock, and Page in Daredevil Born Again is 468. And you're probably like, guys, these are just numbers. They're not going to mean anything. Well, in the past, license plates, building number addresses, they've kind of hinted towards Easter eggs and references to Marvel Comics. And if we take the number 468 and relate it to the Daredevil comic book issue, this is actually the beginning of a story where Foggy fakes his own death. It is called The Secret Life of Foggy Nelson, and there's several characters in this book that actually show up already in Daredevil Born Again. And before I give you any more evidence or supporting details that suggest this is a possibility, this is a theory. We're having fun with this. If Foggy is dead, I think they did it really shockingly in a great way in episode 1, and if that's the case, that's the case. However, there's a lot of things besides what I just mentioned that point towards him possibly still being alive. I believe it may be the same comic book series where Vanessa is like the Queen Kingpin, and she actually assists Foggy in faking his own death. With seeing Vanessa in this state of power in this show, kind of working with Wilson, not for Wilson, it's really, really interesting having all of these kind of things pop up now. Not only the mention of the comic book, but also the directors of the show have confirmed that not only Karen, but Foggy will also return in season 2. Season 2 has already started filming, so maybe they're trying to get this news out there because set photos are going to leak like they did with the first one. Now, when Brandon Davis first broke the news that Foggy was going to be returning in season 2 through his interview with the directors, I assumed this was going to be flashback based. We got several flashbacks with Matt and Foggy in the first season of Daredevil, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got more of that, but I think this might be something more. Would I be happy with flashbacks? Absolutely, but with the way the story is teeing up to kind of incorporate more of the magical, mystical, science-based MCU rather than the more grounded stuff that the original Daredevil series had, which actually they had Elektra die and be resurrected multiple times, so this is nothing new. I think there's actually a decent probability that Foggy does come back to life, or he just didn't die in the first place and they did the same thing that they did with Nick Fury and Winter Soldier, reducing his heartbeat down to 1 beat per minute. However, we did hear Matt listen to the heartbeat of Foggy stop, so he could be completely dead. I feel like if Nick Fury could do it, Foggy could do it too. So now I'm going to step away from the concrete facts or evidence that we have supporting this theory and talk about why I actually think it's a possibility. It's no secret that this show was in development for a very, very long time, and the original script and production of the show did not have Karen and Foggy returning at all. In fact, they weren't even connecting the original Daredevil Netflix series, The Defenders, Punisher, all of that stuff. They were only bringing back the same actors for Daredevil, for Kingpin, and for Punisher. They even recasted Vanessa. The rumor is that Kevin Feige and Marvel executives, and I don't know if this is completely true, they didn't like the show that they had with the original pitch, so they went ahead and brought back all of the characters from the original series and also made it canon. The problem is they almost completely shot the show already, so they have this entire story that they're wanting to tell without Karen and Foggy, and that probably cost tons of money, and they're wanting to use as much as possible from that first edition of the show to tell the story for the revitalized version. So what does that mean? It means that there's tons of stuff that's going to be in this show that was from the original draft and the original scripts, but now with the addition of certain things such as a completely new pilot, which was the first episode we saw, that changes everything. Charlie Cox even said the first episode was what was reworked the most from the original script, and it shows because now we understand why Karen and Foggy aren't in the show, why Karen went away, why they decided to kill Foggy. Not only does it serve as a catalyst for the show and Matt's character arc, hopefully, but it also explains why we see Matt in this new law firm, there's no Karen and there's no Foggy. So here's my thought process. In the first season that didn't originally have these characters, they tack them on at the beginning and maybe even the end to tease us and let us know that they're bringing them back for future seasons. seasons, and now that they've announced that the second season is shooting and that these characters are coming back, they're gonna do some magical work to bring them back and have the show that we've loved since the beginning. I really want to know what you guys think about this, and if you would want this to even happen. I really enjoy how the first episode played out. Of course, I want more Foggy. I think he's an amazing character. I think he's crucial to Matt Murdock as a character, and it's going to be interesting seeing how he goes through this season without him. He has this buddy cop situation with this detective as well as his lawyer partner, but I don't think these are going to be permanent replacements. I think Karen and Foggy are going to come back in season 2 in a big way. So give me your thoughts down below. I need to know if I'm absolutely crazy, if I'm just coping with Foggy's death, or whatever. Leave those comments. Let's try to get this video to 50 likes, and I will see you all very, very soon.